At one time, you were thinking about purchasing BET.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still on your mind, and why? Because you got Revolt, so why was BET?
Yeah, I wanted to look at it. I mean, there's no way to go unless you really kind of, go into acquisitions. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm really looking heavy on acquisitions and really building the world's biggest black media company, building the world's biggest black media company. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my second mountain. I really feel like I'm just beginning in my career. I feel like my purpose is sharpened, and I've gone from me to we. So it's like, the things that I'm looking at are really, really big moves. I want to really take over Disney. I want to really take over Disney. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I want us, because I know there's going to be a shift. I know there's going to be a change. I know the aliens coming. I know that, the last shall be first, the first shall be last. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be sitting here surprised. Yeah. I'm going to be ready, you know what I'm saying, as far as is how big and how bold my thinking is. And so, looking at where I had Revolt, and where Revolt is at now is like one of the most profitable networks that are out there. We was able to pass, as far as our digital footprint, past Complex. That was a big thing for us when we started. We didn't really own our own culture. And so now Revolt has really stepped into that, to that position. So I was looking at BET, and after, when you're looking at like people know how bad we get treated as people of color, but it's like I don't think we really face the reality about that we had more wealth when we was like slaves than we have now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a reality. The numbers don't lie. And so when BET gets a major portion of black advertising dollars, because they only give us 1%, because that's what we accept. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So Revolt is definitely coming out here to change the tone, and I felt like combining the forces, I could change the tone. I feel like the only way we're going to change the tone is by unifying. Mm-hmm. So unifying the black brands and getting a chance to be at that scale, and that's why I wanted to do it with Tyler Perry. I want to do things. I feel like we have to combine our money in order to take back what's ours. And so, but when I was looking at it as far as me just doing it by myself, the dollars didn't make sense. So I withdrew my offer before it, but the things I'm looking at are to really combine things and have the biggest, most powerful media company, combine things and have the biggest, most powerful media company that we could be free with what we want to say and how we want to say it. Because like on here, one of y'all could still get fired for saying something black and really proud and really saying something that's right that you need to say. At Revolt, you ain't gonna get fired. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
So I should go over there.
Nah, not necessarily. It's just that it's beautiful when you look at Revolt. You have to look at really what it is. It's the only thing that's owned by a man of color or a person of color. I mean, you have Radio 1, Kathy Hughes. I'm sorry. Shout out to Kathy Hughes. She's definitely. We talking about like from our culture that really is dealing with things like this that are, that when we need to go somewhere and say what's really going on, y'all gonna go to Revolt because CNN ain't gonna have y'all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? ESPN, you say something wrong and that's about sports, they'll get rid of that, get rid of you just for speaking your mind. Yeah. And so if you can't speak your mind, you can't speak truth to power. And so if you can't speak your mind, you can't speak truth to power through the media. The media is the strongest form of anything. Right. So Revolt, we're looking at making big moves because not because I need it, because we need it as a people. Yeah. We need a black free press. We need a place that we could go to and be free and talk how we want to talk and do what we want to do. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you,
as
Diddy,
long as
what's up?
Because you are a leader and you are a person who disrupts systems.
Yes.
And you did that a couple of years ago with the Our Black Party. Yes. Presidential election is next year. Are you bringing Our Black Party back?
I'm really in a reflective like mode of just like where my time is as far as solutions, you know? Mm-hmm. So when I look at like change, I'm not looking at the regular way of solution. I'm looking into more radical things right now. I want like radical change. I don't want us like to be looking up 20 years later and the same things going on. You know what I'm saying? We at the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington and things are actually worse. a lot of people don't really realize that Martin Luther King's last words were, last time we went to DC, we was marching to be, included. Now we going to DC to get the check.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I think about some radical solutions. So that's why I like Empowered Global, is a big thing for me. A solution for us to circulate our dollars, not for me to just talk about it. Political power was something that, as far as not power, political power, us unifying and weaponizing our vote, something I was, was looking at. So I definitely have supported like one of the first, black political parties, but I'm still like working out the infrastructure. I cannot tell you that that the political route is what's going to get to the change that I want. So I'm spending my time on just more radical things. Like our own digital Main Street, on economic power, because once we can turn our economic trajectory around, I think that's the only thing that can save us. It's like putting the mask on first. What thing do you decide to put your time with? And so I'm really focused on economic power, of us, as far as with, circulating our dollar and supporting us. So that's what Empowered Global is about. I have other different things that are solutions with. I thought a solution was, our Black Party, which was, going after political power. But I'm only one person, and I want to do things that I feel could have the most radical impact. And I think that right now, fighting the economic war against corporate America as a whole, because even with, you gotta understand, even with Diageo, it's not just about Diageo. It's not like, oh, Diageo's a villain. This is going on across all of corporate America. And so that's the fight that I'm into right now.
We seen you give $1 million to EYL Foundation and also to Jackson State.
It's not making me dance. So I'm making R&B to make you dance, R&B to make babies too, to make love, and
now?
Just that soul, because I think it's needed now more than ever. I think that the images and the frequency that we live in is a very dangerous frequency for Black people and all people. You know what I'm saying? I think that the images and the frequency that we live in is a very dangerous frequency for Black people and all people. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I was doing it because as people of color, we were losing our African American culture. This is our greatest export ever, which is soul music, music had everything from jazz to the blues to rock and roll to hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And so R&B is really, really an important, not just a genre of music for the computers to give numbers to, but it's an art form, it's a feeling, it's a frequency. But the thing I was talking about was the way everything's being programmed and the resources. And I used to be bugging out, like, is there a conspiracy to just put out negative music? There is, like, there is a little conspiracy for the darkness.
Yeah, that's in the media too. And
you know what I'm saying? The darkness is at a heavy, heavy rate. So why now? Because I feel I'm at a frequency, I'm in my godly, I'm walking in the spirit, and it's best time for me to make the music because the purpose is bigger than the moment. It's not about me. I've left me. I'm into we. It's not about me. I've left me. I'm into we.
And do you believe an artist can be blackballed? Because that's a conversation that's happening now. People feel like they're being blackballed, not being on the playlist, things of that nature.
I'll say one of the biggest problems right now is the algorithm and the way the whole game is set up. The game is set up for, white corporations to actually, like, decide on what's hot and what's not. White corporations to actually, like, decide on what's hot and what's not. And this is a fact. These are white-owned corporations. iHeart is a white-owned corporation. Apple's a white-owned corporation. Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Apple is Tidal's half and half, you know what I'm saying? But Tidal, if anything, would be the truest for the artist. but the algorithms that's set up is set up in the playlist. Those decisions are being made by people that never made a hit record. So it's like Charles Barkley sitting there talking to Skip, whatever. Like, what is Skip talking about? How can Skip say he knows really what's going on? So it's like the way it's set up, who gets played is basically based on somebody that's never been in the game, that's not in the culture, that's not outside. You know what I'm saying? And then once it's in there, because they're on the playlist, then they go to the top because of the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing as far as with radio being ran by media base. So it's just taking all of the soul out the music, all of the soul out the music. But I just, you know, I feel like that at the end of the day, like the real win. So I'm coming up with just different other ways and platforms to distribute music and to digest music. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's lifeless. It's not really, you're not getting goosebumps. You know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna ask, why did you find it important to take away, you know, because everybody was releasing records on Friday, right? And you said no more of that. You're not releasing records on Friday. You're gonna release a record whenever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you?
Because that was just so crazy that they was able to actually bamboozle and make people follow these orders. Y'all don't even know who these people are. Do y'all know who's running the playlist? Do y'all know who's feeding you the music to your phone? You know what I'm saying? And it's making you whack because you doing whack TikTok moves. You know what I'm saying? You're not being yourself. And the record that you chose, you didn't even choose. You know what I'm saying? And so then there's quality records that also when they talk about a certain level of frequency, they don't even get considered. They don't even play that frequency. So they constantly bang you with the frequency of death, destruction, and darkness and depression. And so I'm coming with a higher frequency and I'm not following none of their rules. And if they don't play my stuff, then I'm coming at them like they taking money out of my kids' pockets. I'm not playing with them. This business of music is a rough business. And they playing rough and I'm back outside and they gonna play my stuff. I ain't gonna be calling them, begging them nothing. Because I don't even know who they are.